Hello, everyone. I welcome you to Alpine Town Council meeting on July 21st at 6:31 p.m. Madam Administrator, do you mind taking roll call, please?
Not at all. Councilman Larson?
Here.
Councilor Burchard?
Here.
Mayor Green?
Here.
Councilor Weirdo?
Here.
And Councilor Scafidi is...
She's absent and excused. She's sick tonight. So,
Okay.
hopefully she's feeling better in the near future.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
All right, thank you. Let's see. Does everyone have the most recent? I want to make sure I'm on the right one here. It should have approval of the adopting the agenda next. Yes. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion that's been seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of adopting the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. What do we need a phone for?
To call in, for the gentleman that's supposed to be calling in,
Okay,
the phone.
let's get the phone. Sounds like we,
talked.
okay. We'll get the phone going and then give us just a minute here to get organized. We've got a public hearing at 6:30 for the Dry Dog Development LLC. Do you have it? It's down here.
Sorry. Well, better him than one of us.
And then, do you mind using that mic and I'll put this one in? You've got your, and who do we have on the phone?
So if you want to go ahead and open the public hearing and call him, because we got to wait for this.
It should, here, just a second. I will make sure everyone that has signed in, I don't know if everyone's had a chance, but if you haven't signed in, please sign in. And we'll get this going here in just 1 minute.
Maybe I can just call him.
Do you have their number? Thanks for your patience, everybody.
The person at
Just don't hit call. Why don't you just call him? It's gonna be Josh Springer. Okay. He's probably watching at home.
Is this Josh? That's okay. Our phone system is having some difficulty. It won't let us use that conference pin, so we just called you directly to put you on speakerphone, if that's okay. Okay, the mayor's getting ready to open the hearing, so I'm going to put you on speaker.
Mr. Springer, do we have you on the line? Hello, Mr. Springer.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, good. Thank you for calling in. Sorry for that delay, everybody. I will now open the public hearing for the petition to annex submitted by Dry Dog Development LLC for the property commonly referred to as the Alpine Apex annexation. This hearing is being held for the town council to determine whether the proposed annexation complies with the Wyoming state statutes and applicable town requirements. For the record, the property proposed for annexation is Lot 96, Alpine Village Subdivision, Number 1, Plat 3, amended, 7th filing, Lincoln County, Wyoming. The property consists of approximately 2.5 acres and is located on the north side of Elkhorn Drive, north of Targhee Place, near the Targhee Landing area. The requested zoning is mixed residential commercial, also referred to as MRC. For the record, annexation means bringing property into the corporate limits of the town of Alpine. Annexation by itself does not approve development, subdivision, building permits, utility connections, or any other separate land use or development approval. If annexed, the property will be subject to the same town laws, ordinances, zoning requirements, development standards, utility rules, fees, and review processes that apply to other properties within the town. Next, we're going to move on to, let me just make sure I've got. Hi, everybody. Can you please sign in before you sit down? Let's see. Okay, the following documents have been submitted for the record and provided for town council review. Petition to annex, affidavit of mailing, affidavit of posting, annexation report, and Planning and Zoning Commission report and recommendation to town council. Next, we will invite the petitioner or the petitioner's representatives to provide testimony or information in support of the annexation request. The applicant may address the proposed annexation, the property, requested zoning, submitted materials, and any information the applicant would like the council to consider. So, Mr. Springer, we have you on the line, and we also have Mr. Sherbel here. I'll let you take it from here.
Marlo, do you want to
I'm here.
take the lead here?
Marlo's up at the podium, ready to take all the questions that come his way, but thank you, Marlo, for attending.
Thank you, Mayor.
And putting together the petition. I imagine you developed all that? Or the
I
application?
do it all myself.
Okay, good.
No, I have a complete staff that takes care of this.
You and your abundant
Together
staff.
we get things done.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you being here. Is there anything in particular you wanted to point out?
Not necessarily, just, this is next to another piece that was annexed about 4 years ago that had a similar concept. This is 18 units is the concept at this point, townhouse units. You read the annexation report and the recommendation from your planning and zoning. We think this is a viable place for enlargement of the town. It has services close to it for sewer and water. Obviously, it has access to the property also. I also have Dave Kennington here from Sunrise Engineering who prepared the annexation report. If you have specific questions about sewer and water or anything in the annexation report that we can field, we'd be more than happy to do that. And at this point, we're open for questions,
Okay.
I think.
This is, I brought up, Mr. Springer, just so you know, I brought up the GIS that shows this lot. And I think the only question I have is sewer and water. Staff has found the closest connection place. That's all been determined.
Yeah, there's sewer and water coming through the Targhee Place.
Right.
That is the town's.
Yep.
And go to both Lot 95 and could be extended over to Lot 96.
Right, this is 95. Which is-
95 is already part of the town.
Yep,
And we're right next door in 96.
gotcha. Okay, I'll open it up to questions from anyone on town council. We'll also go through some of the other required things, but at this point, if anyone has any questions for Mr. Sherbel or Mr. Springer, now's the time.
Or
Now, ask questions of the applicant, which I think we just did. These are just kind of general questions that I think we need to make sure that we have covered. The petition has been signed, notarized, and submitted as required. Can you just check these off or let me know if we've covered all these, or someone? Miss Monica? Okay. The required legal description, map, ownership information, and request for annexation has been provided? Do you mind getting on the microphone just so? She's said yes to both of those for the record. We have our clerk treasurer here answering these questions, Miss Monica Chenault. Thanks, Monica.
Wow.
The annexation report has been completed.
Yes, sir.
Required notices have been completed.
Yes,
The property is contiguous with or adjacent to the town.
it is.
The annexation is a logical and feasible addition to the town.
That's correct.
Basic services can reasonably be made available.
Yes, sir.
The annexation protects the health, safety, and welfare of the town of Alpine. Is that correct in your opinion?
Yes.
Okay?
Can I ask
Yes.
a question? We have had no evidence towards that, at least that I've seen.
Yeah.
That it protects the health, safety, and welfare of the residents of the town of Alpine. That's a conclusory statement. I'm not criticizing whoever did the report, but it's a conclusory statement. There's been no findings.
Yeah.
And so that evidence is presented at the Planning and Zoning Commission in their application, their pre-annexation application. And so those questions are required to be answered by the applicant through that process. I'm sure Marlo would be happy to address them if you'd like.
I also think that it doesn't necessarily, let's see, the annexation protects the health, safety, and welfare of the area of the town. And then the last one, let's just go over that. The required procedures have been followed.
That's correct.
Okay. Mr. Sherbel, do you have an answer to the health, safety, and welfare of the town of Alpine? Do you mind turning on the microphone? You may, yeah, thanks.
So that particular paragraph in the statutes is both those persons residing in the area and the town. And obviously, from those residing in the area, health, welfare, and safety from a sewer and water standpoint, it's on a higher density development, obviously, sewer services that the town has and water services make that much more safe and for the welfare. Health, safety, and welfare of those purposes in the town, that's a good question, Mr. Sanderson.
You guys are the applicants.
We are the applicants. I don't know that I have a great answer to that. The answer I have is that it helps the town to expand. It increases your tax base. My understanding of towns, and as we look at annexations in the past, is residential is very beneficial because it's rooftops. Provides a population expansion, and the town operates much of its budget, if not the majority of its budget, on sales tax, which is tax from the state of Wyoming, which is population-based. And so I think it does help with the general safety and health and welfare of the town. These roads are already built to standard, and so those would expand for the town to be able to use. And that's what I would see in the answer to the findings of that question, Mr. Sanders.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Other questions?
I guess, Mr. Sherwood, this is
You had
not,
another question?
well, I'm a slow thinker, so,
Oh, sorry.
slow processor. And this is not to pick on you, but this is, I know this is something that's gone on, it's something I've harped on with attorneys before, is they come in and they make these general statements that it's for the, you'll benefit because of the tax or whatever. How much are we going to benefit? I mean, what's the dollar amount? We make these statements. If I were doing an affidavit in a case, that wouldn't get me across the line, that general statement. There's no evidence as to what the amount is. If this is, how many units they're planning on putting on?
18.
So how many people are there? How is that going to, and I guess if the council's fine with it and the planning and zoning was fine with it, but I just want it to go on the record, future people asking to annex, developers, attorneys, representatives.
So are you looking for specific dollar numbers?
Well, yeah.
I mean, it
we
talks
come in
about
and we say, this is what it is.
You
and
read
give this
the
general
annexation
amount.
report?
I'm looking at the
And
annexation
so,
report.
under municipal services and levies,
What page are you on, Mr. Sherwood?
number 12 of the annexation report submitted by us. So that has, it talks in general that the town of Alpine is 5 mills.
Okay.
If you want specific dollars for 18 units, I'd have to know some values,
But
some other things
I
to be
guess
able
that-
to compute that.
But Mr. Sherwood, in all due respect, you're the one that says, hey, this is a great benefit to the town because it means more tax dollars. How many tax dollars?
We can certainly compute that with assist from the town treasurer.
Okay.
I believe there's probably a per capita amount of sales tax that this town already knows about, and I don't know that I see it, that it's been regurgitated in this report, but we'd
didn't
certainly
see
be
that.
glad to do that.
Yeah, but my point of it is these general statements that everybody's been getting away with before, I don't feel comfortable with it. And, I mean, these guys can vote how they are, but, and I'm unfortunately, I'm picking on you, but I don't know if Mr. Cottom's listening in. He's heard this from me before, too.
I don't know why Mr.
these-
Cottom would be listening in.
Sometimes
But
he
anyway.
listens in. So,
Okay?
Just some enjoyment on a Tuesday night, I'm
that's
sure.
one of the things he likes to do.
Yep.
But these broad statements that come out, okay, it's for the health, safety, and welfare, and we don't have what, to me, looks like sufficient evidence to say other than, well, it's going to be great.
If the town would like that specificity, we'd be glad to provide it. We have not been asked for that in the past.
Well,
For the last 20 years of doing annexation.
I
And you've been
understand
there
that.
for part of
I
that.
understand that. I told you I'm a slow processor,
Okay,
so.
and I sometimes am too, so.
I have judges call me up and say, Mr. Sanderson, you didn't put this in, you didn't put this in, and the judge has been on the bench for 15 years, and that was the statute. Okay, fine, that's what we'll do, okay?
And
But
I have no
I'm
problem
just-
providing that
okay,
information.
That's, future, I really would appreciate that we have better findings on that. So these guys can decide
Yeah.
whether or not there's
I
sufficient.
guess, on the other side, I would say there's no proof that this is going to be dangerous to the health, safety, to the town.
members.
So,
Well, that's proving a negative there. I mean,
so,
It is
is it
not
going to be
dangerous.
dangerous? Is it going to be dangerous to the town of Alpine to have this annexation?
well, is it going to be dangerous? I don't know. I'm not the one that needs to present the evidence. It's
Yeah.
the applicant,
I agree,
okay?
yeah.
But, I mean,
And I've heard you push back in the past on this, and I do think that in the future, we need to make sure all applicants, have this nailed down.
Right.
But this is a very general part of the statute that I guess we need to talk to the legislature about that and maybe get some more
well,
specificity.
I know it's general, but that's, I guess I just look at the plain meaning there, and it says, is this, it's not going to affect health, safety, and welfare. Well, what, I mean, what are we supposed to prove on this? And
Be more than happy to give.
Marlo, you're the one that got fallen on this, and so I'm sorry about that.
No, I have no problem
This is the
with
point
Mr.
that needs to be making out if we're going to continue to do these things, is how this is going to affect the health, safety, and welfare of the people here, not just it's not. We need to have some evidence.
Okay, in the annexation report, it talks about, if you talk about cost, there are no additional costs to the town. All extensions of sewer and water mains and any roads are borne by the petitioner. We did not go ahead and do the math for the amount of sewer and water rates specifically for this. We can certainly do that. We did quote the rates and showing that there is a base amount coming to the town that would also help from the debt standpoint.
But those are good points. Yeah.
Well, they're in that report on page 11 are water and sewer rates. The cost of improvements were talked about. There is an estimated cost of improvements in that report, but that is to be borne by the petitioner.
I understand that, but it gives the rates and whatnot. Okay, so what are we expecting on getting off of this? How is it going to help? I'm looking for specifics.
And if
Okay,
you want us
maybe
to
that's
total
unfair.
18 times that per month and give you that specific, we can do the math.
I
and show you
would
the
love to
spreadsheet.
have that because I don't do
Okay.
math very well. Mr.
Well,
Chair.
I guess what I would suggest.
More than happy to give you a
Since this
spreadsheet.
is just a hearing, and we're not actually voting on the ordinance tonight for the first reading, I would say that, where is it on here?
It's in the agenda.
It's
Alpine,
later in your meeting.
First
yeah.
Well, I don't-
reading. We can
On
do
this-
things on first reading, Mr. Mayor.
I'm sorry?
It goes on to first reading.
Is that number B? I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And it is appropriate for these questions to happen. This is the public hearing, and Mr. Sanderson is one of the public. He actually represents your board. And so, in the past, those have not been required by the town for us to put the dollars right out to the penny. We're more than happy to do that and can do the math so that those like Mr. Sanderson that doesn't do math well can see it on their spreadsheet. Would that be okay?
Wouldn't you agree that that would help give
Not
information?
disagree. Don't disagree.
Because I think a lot of times, we get criticism for not being transparent or for not giving enough information or, so that, all right, people know this is potentially what this is going to do.
And I'm not trying to sidestep any of those
That's fine.
issues.
I
We're
understand.
certainly willing to do that. The annexation reports and the others that we've seen through this particular town is more general. We're glad if you want to step up that to have a specific. I got no problem.
That's just my interpretation of the statute. Like I said, I've had judges before that haven't even looked at things, and all of a sudden they'll send something back and say, I started looking at this better. Let's do better. And that's what I'm asking.
Life evolves. I don't disagree with you.
All right, Ms. Witter has a question.
Yeah, so can I ask a follow-up question to your thought process here? And this is maybe going on a philosophical tangent, but because this is application for annexation, not a building plans that he's submitting,
Correct.
they can certainly
They'll
make something up, they can say, yep, the plan today is 18 units and this many connections, and it could house up to this many people, and you can put together a proposal, but the reality is when it comes time to actually submit your building plans, circumstances could have changed, your funding could have changed, your developer could say, I'm going another route. Well, then all of a sudden, are we making them out to be liars because they've deviated from what was submitted?
I think you've got a basis for what was submitted, and then they come back and say, well, plans have changed, obviously.
Okay.
But it gives you a point, from me, from a philosophical point of view, we know what we're planning here. It helps us to look at, budgets, I guess, that to me, are all fiction anyway, but.
And I think the timing is good for this discussion.
You're
so I'm
obviously
glad
not an
we're having
accountant
it now.
either.
I think it's, Mr. Sanderson is doing his job. He's letting us know that this is part of the statute, and then we need to be cognizant of it and make sure that the applicant is doing their part to answer this question.
Totally agree.
I think it's great, and for us to basically say, we want this information, then we'll just make sure that we get it going forward. But the town council's going to be the one that's going to decide that, so.
You're going to decide that.
Yeah.
And another observation with Councilman Weir is these are kind of general because it's a concept. We're not coming here with, here is the city happening. And so we can develop those numbers more. The whole intent here, in my opinion, looking at this statute is are we taking away money from the town and the community, or are we bringing more into it? How much more? Yeah, we can figure that, but we are bringing more, and that's what the annexation report tends to speak to, is that there is more base coming in. There, by logic, you can decide that there is more sales tax coming in. We can certainly come up with those numbers so that we have them exact, but you're right. If it changes, then we would want to come back and say, well, that may have changed. But once we're annexed, then it's a completely different process, and I think that's what Mr. Sanderson is referring to in some of that, is the annexation is a broad, general view, but it does ask for some general questions, and if you want specifics to those, we're more than happy to provide those. So that's kind of the way I read that statute, is it is a little bit because we're in or not. That's kind of the discussion if we do. And it is for the general health, where when you talk about safety and that, you're talking about, I don't know, are there going to be more accidents, more traffic? All of that comes through studies as we go through the development and really know what's going to be built here.
Mr. Mayor?
With that said.
One reminder, tonight you're holding a public hearing on the annexation, and I've recommended to mayors and councils before that they attempt the best they can to sometimes decouple annexation from development. And annexation right now is, we would annex a vacant parcel. It doesn't have any development on it, and so there would be no immediate of persons, at least on that lot. Then development is kind of a separate and distinct process, and that will happen eventually. And I understand that plans may change. Maybe it's 18 units now. Maybe it becomes, 14 units as you revise your plans. Maybe funding falls through and there's no development at all, and the parcel continues to sit vacant for another 20 years. These are all real possibilities, but right now the annexation is the annexation of a vacant parcel.
That's correct.
Sounds good. Okay, let's move on, because we're going to get public input here as well. But next, thanks, Mr. Sherman.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Actually, Marlon?
I guess we're not done with you yet.
Sorry. I keep walking away.
So I see you're applying for MRC.
Correct.
Yet you're building townhomes. Any
Yeah.
reason why MRC versus R2?
Flexibility more than anything else.
And then,
In case we have some kind of on-site commercial, C-store or
live work kind of a
live
thing?
work, something like that. Yeah, just, I hate not to have some flexibility, because then you got to go back through a full rezone.
And then,
So that's why we chose that in-between zone that you have.
gotcha. And how's that compare with the current zoning of the county?
Current zoning of the county, I'd have to look at the map. I think it's mixed, but I'm not so sure. Can you turn that on, your GIS? I did not look at that.
You may have to direct me to the,
Go to the green tab.
Yep.
You're getting ambushed from everywhere.
To the far, well, that's why I'm here. Over here, Mayor.
oh, this one?
Come right to this one.
Yep.
Hit the parcel. Clear down the bottom where it says zoning. Click on that. Oh, you haven't clicked on it yet. Click. Thank you. And then get rid of both of those.
I'm sorry, get rid of what?
Drop down.
Oh, okay.
This is your drop down. Thank you. It's a mixed zone. The blue, this is rural, the green. So it's already a mixed zone, so it would be a high density in the county, similar to your density. They would have to have central sewer and water, though, which they would be closest sources to town,
Right.
which is why we're not trying to develop in the county, because anything with the mixed zone is going to need some central services. both sewer and water. And so we find it easier just to go right to the source and see if they want us in. If not, then we got to look at alternatives.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. And you can go back and click that off if you'd rather.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate it, thank you. All right, now we're going to go into council statements. If you have anything, you're going to have one final opportunity to say something. If anyone has anything in particular they want to say now, now's the time. Okay, then we'll go into public comment. I've got a timer up here designated as far as how much time, but I hope that people could come up to the podium, make concise comments, and state their opinion, and we'll just keep moving through as fast as we can, but I will limit the comments to a total of 3 minutes. So now's your chance. Anyone that wants to come up and make a comment regarding this dry dog annexation is, you're more than welcome.
Bill Sachs, candidate for mayor of Alpine. Riley, to your comment about you encourage decoupling, that, and nothing on you, right? You could be...
Mr. Sachs, could you just
Right.
direct your comments?
Excuse me, my apology.
Yep.
But all of a sudden, let's just say that we do annex it in on just plain land, but it never gets developed. The value of land goes up significantly. So then, are we going to impose any kind of restrictions on, if we annex your building, what you're building, you haven't told us yet. But I think that's a fair question to ask. Also, I just want to make sure, were public hearing signs posted, because it's supposed to be within 300 to 500 feet of the development. Are those out there at Targhee Place right now? So for the public, and also, I know it's not Wyoming statute, but it's a good question to ask. A lot of developers just do it. Did anyone do impact interviews with the people from Targhee? I think it's a fair question. And that's all I had, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Photos were included in the packet. The hearing notice sign is posted on the property, and then the notices were mailed to property owners within 500 feet, which here in Alpine, you actually have a more stringent requirement than the state. The state's requirement is 300 feet.
Right. Thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome.
Any other comments? All right, no more public comment. Now, there's opportunity if there's a response from the applicant, Mr. Sherbel or Mr. Springer. Do you have anything to add?
We don't.
Marlo, do you have anything additional?
I think we've presented what we have, and I think it fits all of the requirements of the state statutes for annexing this property.
Great, thank you. Thanks, Mr. Springer. All right, final council questions or statements. Does anyone have any statements or questions that they have before we end the hearing? Okay. Seeing no further testimony or questions or public input, I will now close the public hearing for the Alpine Apex annexation petition to annex. The hearing is now closed. Thank you, everybody. We will move right into, thanks, Mr. Springer.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate everyone and your consideration and all the great questions and concerns.
Appreciate it. We'll be in touch.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. We didn't get a chance to do it before. I didn't know that was going to take that long, but the next thing on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you don't mind. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you for that. Next, we have the consent agenda. Do we have a motion?
Motion for approval of consent agenda?
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Next, we'll go into reports. Let me move on down here. So I'll start with my report. We do have the letters of, Madam Administrator, will you describe, what are they?
Agreements for Alpine Meadows property owners, those will be going out within the next couple of days. So
Right.
property owners should expect those soon. Those will be sent to property owners whose sewer connections or sewer laterals we are either going to monitor and maintain in the event that they ever back up, or entirely replace when the property owner goes to develop the property. And property owners will hopefully find that those are pretty easy to read and understand. As soon as they sign and return those to the town, we will have those recorded, and we can provide copies once recorded to all property owners.
And if anyone receives that letter, has any questions, please reach out to the administrator, and she will answer all your questions because she did everything. I mean, it was her idea, so we're going to let her have the burden for getting all the public information out there on it, so appreciate that. Next, we'll go to Events Committee report. Ms. Burchard.
Just a reminder, we have farmers market every Thursday at 4, music in the mountains for a couple more weeks at 6. This week we have live music again, which is great. This Thursday also, there's travel and tourism meeting at 6.
Correct.
Coming up on the 30th is the Transportation Safety Action Plan and Demonstration Project Open House, which we definitely encourage everybody to come to. There will be some really good information there. That's from 5 to 7. On August 5th, we have a candidate forum coming up where you can meet your candidates for town council and mayor and ask questions, get to know them a little bit.
And that's primarily, I think, going to be more like a meet and greet, if I'm not mistaken? Okay.
And that's at 7 p.m. on August 5th at the Civic Center. On August 7th through the 15th, the Friends of the Alpine Library annual book sale will be going on, so definitely stop by there and get some books. On August 15th, we have the Top of the Rockies Car Show. This is a great event. All funds made go back into the community to help community members. And just to save the date, the Alpine Education Foundation's second annual Golf Scramble and fundraiser will be Saturday, September 26th. Lots coming up.
September 26th,
6th.
okay. Golf. All right, sounds good. Jorgensen Engineering is next. Kevin couldn't be here. I don't think he submitted anything in writing, but, so, oh, well, we'll excuse him tonight. Planning and zoning, did anyone from planning and zoning come? Are you willing to, do you have a report at all?
Just not really, but we talked about what we talked about at the meeting, if you like.
You don't have to give a report, but we just give you the opportunity. Oh, now she feels forced.
We just went over the two companies, submitted all the information, just went through all that, had some questions, got that taken care of.
Right.
I will not be here next week, so anybody who could come to the meeting next week and probably, I don't know if it's going to be a full house like it was last time, but we could probably use some other folks there as well
You need-
for support.
Support, as in being up here running the meeting?
Maybe so. It was a full house, and we normally don't get a full house at the P&Z, so it was really super nice to have everybody there. Everybody there was really cordial. Everybody was able to voice their concerns, which was really nice, but I'm sure the P&Z could use some extra support for that meeting.
We'll see what kind of support we can get. That's
Yeah.
the first I'd heard of it, so.
Yeah, from what I understood, it's going to be, the Turley's going to be up on the docket, so.
Okay.
And I'll be able to listen in and phone in, but I'm not going to be here.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Well, you'll have quorum no matter what.
Yeah, the
If
quorum's going to be there, but
We'll maybe figure out a way to give you a little more support.
it was a heated conversation last time. We
Yep.
were able to kind of keep it quelled down, but it wouldn't be a bad idea
Okay,
to have some extra support there.
sounds good. Thanks for the update on that.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, guys. Anything
Who
else?
facilitates your meetings as second in command?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's probably should be Dan because he's been there longer, so I don't know if I really want to throw Rachel under the bus.
You guys not appointed a second in charge?
Not yet. I just made the assumption it was Dan. To be honest with you, I didn't
Okay.
make that.
Well-
I think I got thrown under the bus when I was the second, so. And then I got thrown into the chair,
All
so
right, well,
I assumed it just went with seniority.
we'll do some research and figure out how we can support you and
Okay.
just make sure you have some.
Yeah, like I said, if anything, everybody's going to be very concerned about
Yep.
the development and all that good jazz. Y'all have read all the paperwork that we've read, so just
Yeah,
be handy.
awesome. Thanks,
Okay.
Mo.
Anything else?
That's it.
And on a side note, the 250th Gala, everything, 4th of July as a town of Alpine, we did a great job in representing. It was an amazing event. I've heard nothing but great things from people who just randomly showed up. So great job, the whole town.
You did a great job with your car at the first show.
So much fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, good job. We need a pat in the back every once in a while, so thank you.
Yes, sir.
For someone that didn't have anything to say, you sure did a lot of talking. Okay, economic development, Mr. Larson.
Again, nothing much on economic development with the county. However, I'll again throw on my emergency management hat. As you may well know, yesterday, Alpine Fire District responded to a brush fire south of town. The fire was a ring fire without a ring that was lit day prior. Thought it was put out, and so it sat, and then with yesterday's heat, got out of control. Luckily, they were able to get on it really fast. So FYI again, Lincoln County, we're at stage 1 fire. That does not change with the rain. The rain has not been drying out or moisturizing the vegetation. It's still very dry out there. Lincoln County is still in stage 1 fire restrictions. And then tomorrow, the Bridger Teton will also go on to stage 1 fire restrictions. If you're going to have a fire, it needs to be cold to the touch when it's out. And then also, if you have an empty lot, if you have weeds all about, it's really good practice to just mow it down, cut it down so it doesn't have more fuel to grow.
Let me add just a little bit of
Yeah.
color to that as well. I talked to the fire chief today, and he said someone just built a fire, like out in the backyard. They didn't have a fire ring. There was no rocks, no metal, nothing. And the fire was put out the night before, and this fire, I mean, it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon when it came up. So everyone just understand what can happen. That is a perfect location if the wind was right. If that fire really took hold, it would have crested the mountain and come into Alpine,
Right.
guaranteed.
And then the property owner was fined, and the sheriff's office will be fining if it happens to others. So they are enforcing it.
That's right. Thank you. Alpine Travel and Tourism.
Thank you. Alpine Travel and Tourism, yeah, we'll have a meeting this Thursday from 5 to 6 right here. The first half hour will be just an open forum. Any discussions you want with Travel and Tourism's been doing the past 3 years. And then the second half will be an education portion of it, because again, Travel and Tourism goes up for reelection this November. So it'll be an education, the process, what it means if it's voted in again, what it means if it's voted out, just a pure education portion. So come on out, 5 to 6 this Thursday.
I think it says 6 on the calendar on the website.
Oh, it did? It needs to be 5 to 6 because we're sandwiching it in between farmer's market and music. So we'll get that corrected.
Can you
Yeah,
guys double
needs-
check that? Okay,
Needs to be, 5 to 6.
thank you. The sheriff submitted their report in writing, so next we'll move right into action items. And first on the list is ordinance number 2026-011, Boardwalk 2, Lot 18 annexation ordinance on third reading. Do we have a motion?
Motion to adopt on third and final reading ordinance number 2026-011, Boardwalk 2, Lot 18, annexation.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
I heard Ms. Weirda with the second. She beat you to it.
Good.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Discussion. All right, so this is third reading. Rex isn't here. He probably didn't think he needed to be here, but I just want to, in light of our conversation from earlier, I don't know how that affects any of this. Without him being here, he could probably speak to health, safety, and welfare. This is third reading, and I know he's ready to move forward with his project, so I don't know if anyone has any questions or comments. That
Nothing has changed since second reading?
Nothing has changed since second reading. Any comments, questions? Okay. All those in favor of ordinance number 2026-011, Boardwalk 2, Lot 18, annexation ordinance on third reading, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Ordinance carries on third reading. Next, we have ordinance number 2026-013. Do we have a motion?
Motion to find that the statutory conditions for annexation exist, that the required annexation procedures have been met, and to approve the first reading of ordinance number 2026-013, Alpine Apex Annexation / Alpine Village Number 1, Plat 3, Lot 96.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Discussion. We had the hearing, and it sounds like we've met all the statutory requirements. Want to read that motion one more time here. Okay, so it's very specific. It's the first time we've seen it like that. Any other comments, questions?
Good discussion.
Yeah, we did have a good discussion on that. I think this is something that if we wanted more, I shouldn't have closed that. If we wanted more information on the health, safety, and welfare and wanted a statement or something written by the petitioner, I'm sure we could get that from them on second reading. I'm sure they'd be more than happy to give us all the information, not to hold up their process. Yeah, I do think that that's something that we should definitely require in the future. I mean, it is required, but we could probably be a little more stringent on it. Just make sure that we're covering all of our bases with that in the future, so.
I would just say in the staff report, that staff report on the second page, there's a strategic community impact. Annexation would bring the property into the town limits, place it under town's ordinances, zoning requirements, development standards, utility rules, fees, review processes. This supports orderly growth, allows future land use, subdivision, utility, development questions to be reviewed through the town's established processes. Annexation does not independently approve future development or utility connection. Just to go on a philosophical soapbox for a moment, feedback that I hear regularly, especially along the 26 corridor, is why are they putting up this ugly building? Why are they putting up more storage units? Why are they putting this? Why are they putting that? And the answer is because it's in the county, and we have no say in it. So I would save the argument, save the discussion for another night, but just to say that philosophically speaking, bringing land under the town umbrella allows us to develop it in the way we want and not just having willy-nilly, storage units being put up.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Storage units are not allowed to be built, is my understanding, in the town of Alpine. It's supposed to be in the county as well, but somehow those got built because they were platted that way. I appreciate you bringing that up.
Larger discussion for another night, but when we talk about the welfare, it's like, well, this is controlled growth, not trying to work with the mess.
I've also heard some comments on the housing that's being built like directly behind the substation, and I guess to each their own. It may not be that appealing to some people when you look at it. The fact is, since those were permitted, we have put a process in place with the Design Review Committee where they have to come in front of that committee, and the committee can give recommendations on how to improve the overall look of it, with screening and just make it more interesting. So I think that we've kind of made some steps already since that was brought in. And this, if 18, 16 units, however many they're talking about being built on this dry dock, when that happens in the future, they will have to come in front of that board, show what they've designed, and hear feedback from not only the public, but from this design review committee. So, I think we've made some big strides there. That's not the case with residential. I don't want to hear people saying, why are you doing this to, I want to build whatever. It's only on commercial projects. So eventually we may get to that point, but in general, it's only on commercial. So I thought that was a good time to bring that up. Any other comments? Questions? Okay. Seeing that we don't have any more comments, all those in favor of ordinance number 2026-013 Alpine Apex Annexation / Alpine Village number 1, Plat 3, Lot 96 on first reading, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, ordinance carries on first reading. All right, next, let me bring this up. We have the town AMI project. It looks like we need to get our contractor paid, so do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the AMI radio read project, pay applications in the total amount of $667,067.91. Apply a credit of $286,111.01 for direct parts invoices previously paid by the town, and authorize payment of the remaining balance due to Core and Main LP in the amount of $380,956.90 with project engineering and town staff labor costs accounted for separately.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Very well done. That was a long one. This is just for the people in attendance and anyone at home, this is the radio read project that we've been working on the town's been working on it for a long time, but since I became mayor, we got these funds through the SLIB board. The application was done with the previous administration, so we give them their flowers for going out there and trying to get the money. In total, it was around a $750,000 grant from the state. So we're very appreciative of that. And now people can actually figure out how much water they're using. So it's great for the town, and definitely we're happy to have it in place. So if I'm not mistaken, Madam Treasurer Clerk, this is just kind of the bookkeeping to pay the, she's going to come up and talk to us.
Well, if you can ask me.
Yeah.
So this essentially wraps up the entire project in one fell swoop. Core and Main, the contractor who installed the meters and also provided the meters for the part of the project the town staff installed, they had a huge billing error, and they were billing the town for all the parts for the project, both for what they were installing and what we were installing. It wasn't caught initially. Craig assumed, I believe, which is understandable, that it was for our portion of the project that we were installing. And when I realized what the numbers were, we started looking into it and realized they were billing us for all the parts. And so we stopped all payment to them immediately, and then determined that they would wait until the end and bill the project as a whole, and we'd clean it up. So this is what we're doing. So essentially, we've already paid them $286,111.01.
Right.
So,
And I know you and Tara have worked diligently to get all these numbers together.
as has the, the engineer.
Yeah,
We couldn't have done it without Jorgensen.
yeah. It was a lot of work, so
Yeah.
appreciate all your hard work on that.
Yeah.
Any questions for Monica while we're up there?
Just to clarify, because again, this was also pre-me, so I don't know the history. This entire project was covered by a grant. Its entirety?
No.
No.
Okay, so this 380 is out of the town funds or partially from?
So the $667.91 in total is at this time the total project cost. Without town staff labor, because we will not get reimbursed for that. However, they will consider that part of our match. And so it's a 60/40 grant.
Okay. So we're paying it and then being
We'll
reimbursed?
be reimbursed
Okay.
60%.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions?
Thanks, Monica. All right, thanks for the clarification on that. Any other questions, comments? All right.
It's been good.
I'm sorry.
Spoke with Craig earlier today, just asking him in general, what's our water situation like? He's saying compared to years past, it's actually really good because of the radio read. Everybody's figuring out, how much water am I actually using and paying for, and therefore cutting back.
Well, we also know how much water we're producing.
Yeah. And
So-
leaking.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, and so we've already found plenty of places where leaks happen. So yes, I think it's been great, and kudos to the staff for getting it over the finish line because, and the state being willing for us to use our town staff to install it as our match saved us a huge amount of money on this project. So, yeah,
It was projected at $1.2 million originally before staff stepped up.
yeah, Monica just mentioned that it was projected to cost over $2 million to get this, I'm sorry, $1.2 million to get this project over the finish line before staff stepped up. So, thank you for that. Other questions, comments? All right, I'm not going to read that full motion, but all those in favor of said motion regarding the town AMI project contractor's application for payment number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Okay, next is JVA. Do we have a motion for this?
Motion to approve, motion to approve the updated JVA Inc. on-call engineering services agreement for pretreatment and wastewater treatment plant support in an amount not to exceed $42,000 for 2026, and authorize the mayor to execute the agreement on behalf of the town with invoices to be billed to the appropriate town account based on the survey.
We have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded, discussion. Madam Administrator, can you just give us a little bit of background on this, and, or you could yield to the clerk treasurer? Monica's busy here at the podium tonight.
Getting my exercise. So JVA has been providing services to the town of Alpine, consulting services to help us with getting the wastewater pretreatment plant up and running and deal with the difficulties we've been having with that process. In addition to that, they also helped us start the process of instituting an industrial wastewater pretreatment program with town staff is now going to pick up and carry the rest of that program across the finish line. However, with some of the dynamics that we're having with the contractor Cambrian and the dynamics that we had with the failure of the precision to perform as well, JVA has probably done more than we anticipated originally, and we expect them to be involved quite heavily probably over the next 6 to 8 months still. And so this is what they're estimating for the cost to be for the rest of the year.
And just to clarify, JVA's expertise is in wastewater.
Is in wastewater.
Yeah. So not necessarily Jorgensen's bailiwick, for lack of a better term.
Well, I don't know that they have the capacity within their organization to provide what we're getting from JVA. And so, our goal as staff is to utilize the other avenues as much as possible. When we need an expert on these things, that we're having to depend on them. And this just provides a framework for billing to happen.
Yeah. Is this time and material not to exceed?
Correct.
Okay. So if we don't use it?
Yeah, we keep it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're asking for 42,000 between now and the end of the year.
That's correct.
And we've got 48,000 in the budget item for the fiscal year.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So it doesn't leave us a huge margin for
Well,
first
100%.
January through June.
No, 100% of it probably won't. So there is some legal considerations that some of this may actually be billed to the general fund through our professional services for the legal considerations.
Yeah. That was the line item under the wastewater professional services, right?
Not the wastewater treatment plant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever is connected with the legal side of things is likely, it's going to be billed to the general fund because it is a town legal matter.
Thank you.
So, yeah, so we'll navigate that for you.
Okay. Any other questions for Monica? We've got her? Okay, thanks, Monica. Any other questions in general, comments? All right. All those in favor of said motion regarding JVA Incorporated on-call pretreatment and wastewater treatment facility engineering services agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Next, moving on to letter E. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the attorney-client engagement agreement between the Town of Alpine and Jackson Hole Law, PC, for legal representation regarding the annexation matter involving Alpine Property Holdings Group, LLC, and Premier Realty Investment, LLC, and authorize the mayor to execute the agreement on behalf of the town.
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Would you like me to give some background on this, Mr.?
Yes.
Okay. So this refers back to Mr. Turley received legal advice from someone that worked in Jim's office, no longer does. Basically, Jim really had nothing to do with that, but that person still worked in Jim's office. So Jim told us that he thought it was a conflict of interest and recommended that we find a different attorney to represent the town during the Turley annexation discussions. So did that sum it up pretty good? Okay.
That's great.
Okay. So that's where this comes from. Mr. Sanderson, you found this attorney and he's, this group is willing to come? Oh,
Yeah.
who did?
Yes.
I found him, but they've worked
Okay.
out of Jackson.
Yeah, Alec Lever with this firm, Jim was familiar with him, and so he was initially contacted, but he also serves as the prosecuting attorney in Jackson, so I've met him on several occasions before. And as I explained to someone earlier today, in rural communities, we don't often have 50 or 100 experts in municipal law or municipal government, kind of like the doctors. They all have specialties. It's the same with attorneys, and Alec Lever is someone who has experience working with a municipal client.
Yep. Sounds good. I guess one question I do have for you, Mr. Sanderson, is like, how will it work on nights when we have discussion on the Turley? Will you just recuse yourself?
I'll leave.
For the whole night, or for just that part?
Until you guys call me back.
Okay. I think we just need to figure out, is he going to it doesn't make sense for him to represent us for the rest of the agenda, probably just that one, so.
Yeah, just that one.
Yeah, okay. I don't know how many hours that's going to be. Of course, he's going to be reviewing documents and all that. During that process, Mr. Sanderson, are you going to?
I won't look at it or touch it.
Okay.
Yes, so even when staff just have questions, because sometimes we send a lot of things through our attorney for legal review, and it's best practice to just always have someone for staff to consult when we do have questions. And so Mr. Lever will be available both when we need him in person for representation during meetings and when we need to consult with him regarding legal questions outside of meetings.
That's perfect. Thank you. Any other questions regarding that?
Just, was this the only attorney that was considered, or are there other specialists in the greater Star Valley community?
I don't know how many attorneys we have in our area that have municipal experience. Mr. Sanderson, you may know of a handful of others. If you'd like staff to consider exploring other.
I mean, that is an option for sure, but Mr. Sanderson, you had something to say?
I spoke with Mr. Voiles, who represents the town of Thames, town of Star Valley Ranch. He didn't want anything to do with it. I spoke with Thane Peterson, who represents Lyman, one of those other southwestern Wyoming towns, Kemmer, LaBarge. He didn't want anything to do with it. I spoke with one other, his name's escaping me, it always escapes, Dean Stout, didn't want anything to do with it. So that left me with Mr. Linder.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
It really doesn't matter, but he doesn't live in Star Valley, or do you know? He lives in Jackson, maybe?
I think Mr. Lever lives in Jackson, yeah.
Okay. It doesn't matter, but I'm sure we'll be probably paying some travel expenses as well for him, but.
Yeah, just asking that we've done our diligence,
Yes.
at least exploring more than one
For sure.
option. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not tell Mr. Lever he was the last choice.
You did now.
We'll make sure we tell him when he gets here. Any other questions on this? Okay. Let's see. We've got the motion on the table, correct? All right. All those in favor of said a motion regarding the attorney-client engagement agreement with Jackson Hole Law PC for legal representation, all those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, now, moving on. Letter F. Do we have a motion regarding the lease with the Playroom Learning Center?
Motion to approve the commercial lease agreement with the Playroom Learning Center as proposed and authorize the mayor to execute the agreement.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded, discussion. Madam Administrator or Clerk, this is just, we don't have a current lease with the daycare, is that the case?
Yes, the lease expired in, what date does it say in there? 2023, and they've been month to month under those same terms ever since. I do think granting them, could they continue to rent from us month to month? Are we going anywhere? No. But them having a long-term lease would certainly give them peace of mind as business owners and as well as the families.
Yeah. And then as far as the consideration of the lease amount, this is something that we discussed, I believe on, was it a work session or anyone recall?
It was an executive session.
Okay. It may have been during an executive session, but it was discussed at 75 cents a square foot, which comes out to, they would be bumped from $15.90, I'll make this bigger for everyone here, they'd be bumped from $15.90 a month to $1837.50 a month, which represents about a $3,000 increase for the year. So I don't think it's, in my mind, they're one of just a couple daycares in the area, and We don't want to make it totally unattainable for them to have a business here. Something, in my mind, they're providing a service for the residents in the town. So, but they're on board. They think that this number will not, kill their business or anything like that. So I don't think we're asking for too much. I don't think it's going to be a huge burden on the people that use the daycare for the local residents, but they may see a slight price increase, but that's up to them. So, any questions, comments? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor of the motion to approve the commercial lease agreement with the Playroom Learning Center as proposed and authorize Mayor Green to execute the agreement, say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Next, we have ordinance number 2026-014, Land Use Development Code amendments on first reading. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve first reading ordinance number 2026-014, Land Use and Development Code amendments.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. Discussion. Madam Administrator, is this is kind of our first look at some of the suggested changes that are being recommended from planning and zoning, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I do believe this is a cleanup item.
Yes.
So these are some changes that the Planning and Zoning Administrator has flagged as things that need to be addressed. You'll see that one, there's like public notice procedures. So you had previously passed an ordinance expanding the public notice
Making it uniform.
Yes, and so this is cleaning up the code to conform to some ordinances
Right.
that have been previously passed and other things that she had flagged, inconsistencies that she had flagged.
And I know that we're looking to hire a consultant to update the land use development code, but this is pressing things that we really can't do without, wait 6 months, 8 months, a year to get handled, if I'm not.
Yes, when there are little holes like this, you have to address the holes, and then you can work on comprehensive revisions at a later time.
Right. Let me just pull up this other document. Has everyone had a chance to go through these? I mean, it's a lot, but in the whole scheme of things, we've got 9 pages here, and I know the Planning and Zoning Administrator feels like these are kind of the main ones that will fill in some gaps and help us get through the next year, for sure.
It is also customary to adopt whenever the new building codes, the residential fire codes, all those, whenever those come out on the national level, it's customary for municipalities to make these revisions to always adopt the latest and greatest form. And then you'll see the ordinance immediately after this one is sometimes a municipality will look at the overall code and they'll say, we like all of it, but we don't like this little thing right here.
Yeah.
And so they'll adopt the entire code with this little itty bitty revision because that's easier than writing an entire residential building code yourself, for example. And so they do kind of go hand in hand.
Okay. Sounds good. I think we'll have a chance to delve into this more. Maybe we can have the administrator here on the Planning and Zoning Administrator if we have further questions for second reading or whatever. But yeah, I've read through these and I think this is great first pass. So any other comments?
Just a question.
Yep.
And I don't know if Mo could speak to this if you
Sure.
if you say. Historically, and I was having an interesting conversation with a resident about this very thing. Historically, how has the town council and the Planning and Zoning Commission handled which items go into which category? So, here, for example, we're pulling the, public notice to the town council level saying we're going to have a town ordinance, we're going to take it out of the land use development code, versus something that was maybe at the town level that gets moved into the land use development code. How have we navigated harmonizing those two entities?
Well, the town council is, so it's an ordinance, so this is law. And they're both at the town council level. So there might be some repeal and replace when there's certain items that we might have an ordinance that conflicts with it, I guess. That might, is that your question?
Yeah, I'm not saying my question well. So, for example, the public notices were in, the public notice requirements were in the land use development code. We're pulling them out of the land use development code because we created a town ordinance. So, okay, that's fine, because you're cleaning that up. I'm just kind of asking, again, philosophically, as information moves between either the land use development code or town ordinance, how is that conversation, or how's that decided?
That's actually more of a question for Jim in general, but, and this goes along with the codification process that we're going to be hopefully finishing up here in the near future, but maybe you could answer that for her?
Repeat the question.
Yeah, it's a...
Okay.
So I think maybe I could do this. So we have this land use development code, and for example, we pulled out and made it more stringent, and we made an ordinance for the notification area to go from 3. That's the problem that we have with the land use development code the way it's written right now, is we had some things that required 300, we had some things required 500. That's why we pulled out and cleaned that up. So that's one specific case there. But when we had the ordinance that kind of, does it repeal and replace that part of the land use development? It supersedes it, basically.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So is that always going to be the case, or the next time we update the land use development code, there might be ordinances that it repeals and replaces at that point?
They should. There should be a repealer section in the ordinance.
Right.
Right.
So it should repeal anything that conflicts with this.
So a town...
It's like the most recent version replaces all the previous versions.
As long as it has a repealer.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. If not, we'll try to tackle it a different way.
Well, and to be honest with you too, we always go through it in the wintertime. We'd always come through it and read it and like, oh gosh, we missed this. And it's just us civilians going through it. And then if we notice any inconsistencies or anything, that's when we would tell the town council, oh, we need to adjust it too.
Basically, we've had this land use development code since 2006, right? And it's been changed like every single year, and that's part of the reason why we have such a problem with it, because it's not uniform. MRC is totally different than residential, and there's certain aspects that should be exactly the same, like the noticing area and things like that. But these, I don't know exactly what the number is, how many sections that she's suggesting we are repealing, but this, in their opinion, should get us through it. But
it's a growing document. I mean, it's definitely changed since I first moved to town years ago. And so it's just a growing document that's constantly getting changed, have to be updated. And
No, absolutely. No, the cleanup and consolidation is the winning combination. I guess the question was more, and I'm just picking on this one line item, you've got the land use development code. Okay, we found a topic that needs to be cleaned up, consolidated. Do you clean up, consolidate it, leave it in the land use development code, or do you essentially delete it from the land use development code and create a town ordinance that
we've noticed that there's some things coming down the pike that needs to be addressed, and the only way that we can help address any issues that might arise with things might be coming down, that this is one thing that should be addressed ASAP and get it fixed.
Sure.
So, we'll keep doing that triage, so to speak, or as we go along, and until we can figure out if we're going to get the
and the other thing that I would say is, if we do end up hiring a consultant to do this, this process is going to be so much easier in the future, especially if we digitize it. It will make...
That's what it seems like too, yeah.
Yeah, it makes the process so much easier. So that's part of the reason why we're here. Any other comments, questions?
It's a living document.
Yep.
It's a living, growing document, just like our town.
Thanks, Mo. All right, we have a motion on the table. No further discussion. All those in favor of ordinance number 2026-014, Land Use Development Code amendments on first reading, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, ordinance carries on first reading. Okay, next is very similar, but it's ordinance number 2026-012, the ICC code exemptions and local amendments.
Motion to approve first reading of ordinance number 2026-012, ICC code exemptions and local amendments.
Second.
We have a motion, it's been seconded. This, essentially, Madam Administrator, what you were just describing is these are the exceptions that we are taking from the ICC and not implementing into our code. Does anyone have any, there's a staff report on it, and we have the first reading of the ordinance here. Does anyone have any questions? Hopefully we can answer them. Hearing none. Let's just go right to a vote then. All those in favor of said motion with ordinance number 2026-012 ICC code exemptions and local amendments on first reading, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Ordinance carries on first reading. Okay, next is the consideration of the consultant. And that is letter I. Do we have a motion?
Motion to authorize the mayor to negotiate and execute a professional services agreement with a company to prepare the town of Alpine's comprehensive land use and development code rewrite, subject to final review by town attorney.
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Discussion. Did anyone have a chance to look at the staff report on this? And I think it's a very similar recommendation that they've made in the past. There's pros and cons to each. My personal, let's see, that's the planning and zoning's recommendation. Pros and cons of each. I will say extensive Wyoming and regional planning experience for OPS. KKC they've done, for example, Gillette's code. So they're very well versed in Wyoming's code and statutes. So it's not like they're some big city group that can't do this work in little old Wyoming. That was the only kind of thing that I wanted to point out in the pros and cons that I read. Any other comments or questions? I'd be leaning one way or another.
Mo?
Sure.
If I could borrow you. I just kind of want to get you, I saw that you and Rachel both voted for OPS. Just kind of get your take on your thoughts.
Well, I'm glad I brought my notes. So going through them and to be honest with you, going through with what we've been dealing with the new code, gosh, I'm drawing a blank. The new master plan, thank you. But the new master plan, I was leaning more towards the local gentleman just due to the fact that if we had questions, we could just pick up a phone and call them, or it'd be easier for them to attend the meetings and actually have that one-on-one personal attention is kind of what I was leaning towards. And the fact that he was within the state of Wyoming made it a little bit easier. But then the next thought was, how much is it going to cost us extra for him to have to attend extra meetings and all of that? Both companies were amazing. The only thing that I wanted Gina's opinion on was the live document, right? From what I understood, Gina had stated that one of the companies offered a live document as you're typing it up. It'll go live right there and then they'll be able to communicate back and forth, and we'll be able to do it right then and there. And I don't think that was the gentleman from Jackson. I think that was the other company. I did not get that full clarification. Gina and I were just emailing back and forth.
Yeah.
So I don't think, and then the next concern was, that I had personally was, is it a continuing subscription from the other company that we'll have to pay for throughout the year because they're going to spend all this, we're going to spend this money with them, design this and have this document, and then are we going to have to pay a service fee to continue that subscription, so to speak? So those were just my concerns, were about it. I read through both of them. I've got them highlighted. I've got, it was like reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, the reoccurring is when we go to the digital format.
Yes, yes.
So,
and that's what we're leaning towards, right? We want to try to do a little bit more of a digital.
Eventually getting there, that's definitely, I think, in the plan. But, and again, I want to make sure that let me get to theirs right here. So they've updated theirs from the original RFP that we sent out, and I just want to make sure.
I don't think I got the new one then. I apologize.
So their scope of services is laid out. I apologize if you weren't given this, but we've asked both firms to kind of look at it one more time. And KKC has changed their strategy just a little bit. And again, an administrator or clerk, tell me if I'm misspeaking here. But in general, KKC has changed it from they're taking out the digital portion, and they'll write. It'll be a PDF that we'll eventually have that they'll come. But in my conversations with them, it'll be written in a way that it easily transfers into the digital format. So once we have that, we have to pay a dollar amount to get that put into the digital format, and then that's when the reoccurring charges happen. I think they're around $4,500 a year. But then updating the code at that point is like seamless, so easy, and like you're describing, it happens almost live. So it's very easy to track, and it becomes like our Bible.
Yeah.
Right now, it's hard to trust, of course, what we're dealing with. So,
Mr. Mayor, I have one update on the codification piece. So we do currently have a contract with MuniCode. MuniCode is codifying our municipal code, and as part of that agreement, upon further research today, they have already agreed to codify our land use development code that was included in the cost that we already paid for codification. And so we already have someone at the ready to codify the land use development code when it's ready. And the supplement fee, what we're talking about, every time we approve an ordinance that amends the code, that's called supplementation in the codification world. And we are already we're already in a commitment to pay a flat rate of about $3,000 a year to MuniCode to continue to host our code, and that does include our land use development code.
Nice.
So that is something that we can kind of.
It will also be digital.
Yes, of course, that's digital.
Yeah. Well, and to be honest with you, coming down to brass tacks, it's whatever's easiest for the office staff. They're the ones that have to deal with this. These folks in the office are going to be the ones who are going to be combing through it more and more. We have citizens coming in, asking them questions. We just come in once, twice a month like National Guard and help out what we can, right? So they're going to be the ones who are boots on the ground to get things done. So if whatever it takes to make them happy and keeps them as a happy staff within the town, I'm all about. But I did appreciate OPS's proposal as well.
yeah.
And I think we all submitted, I think the three of us submitted something in writing for.
Yeah, you did.
On what we want, what we like,
Yeah.
so.
We appreciate you guys taking so much time to look at that.
Well, yeah, she gave us what? She gave it to us on Thursday and said she wanted it by Monday? Yeah.
Good job. Let's just read, this is the staff report. The final recommendation from staff is whom, Madam Administrator?
The staff report contains 3 alternatives, option A, B, and C. Those are options for you all to consider.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
So with that new information as far as MuniCode, how does that change? One, remind me again what we had budgeted for this, and then two, how would that change the cost from having Muni code? How would that, I would assume, lower the cost from KKC and OM?
Yeah, because that was the only thing that I was...
OPS.
Monica can answer this question.
To be honest, I have not actually looked at the new comparisons. I did help develop the comparison. We had conversations about the comparison criteria. Our goal was to get those prices apples to apples.
Yeah.
And so at whatever point that digitization happens, at whatever gets you to there, you're comparing an apples to apples comparison between the two consultants. I feel like with the new information, we, the staff, really need to determine what the first steps are, because we now know we've already committed to a digitized code. It's going to originally be an appendix to the codification, but we knew we wanted it rewritten before we codified it. And so we already have that, so we do need to explore that for you, but that, as you already explained, Mayor, that can be done down the road. It'll be ready. It'll be ready to go.
Actually, at that point, we can do RFPs for the same thing. We can look at Muni code, we can look at
anything,
any group at that point, and it doesn't have to be done right away. We might choose that we want it done sooner rather than later, but that's for town council to decide in a future time.
And would we have budgeted?
We have budgeted 112,000, is what the staff report says. And of course, in the general fund, we have, a $2.5 million cash reserve in the general fund, and, I don't think we're going to be stressing our bank account by picking one or the other. I just want to make sure.
And reasonably, it may not be done in one fiscal year.
That's the other thing.
Are you good with me, Jeremy?
I'm good. Thank you, Mo.
I have been dismissed.
I just want to make sure, is it the exact same, is OPS's proposal, they've never updated it? Is it the same from the very beginning?
I do know that their proposal did not change as drastically as KKC's, in the sense that it was not reconfigured to include multiple components.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
This is the way that we have it, as close to apples as possible. Let me just see if I can find the bottom line. Yeah, so they're at a total of like almost 112,000. So.
Yeah, and it looks like the last one they provided is dated 12/30/2025.
Yeah.
So.
Does that answer your question?
Well, with 12/30/2025, and what?
But we requested for them to update it, right? And they didn't provide a new update?
Well, there's one.
We requested both of them to provide
They did
updates.
not update, they did not change their proposal. Here's a question. Have we, do we know that they have the bandwidth available to take on this project right away? Both?
KKC or OPS?
Both.
Both? I would imagine if they submitted proposals, they better be ready. That would be my...
I just remember in our early conversations with OPS that they said they were available to take it on, and it's a small operation. That's another thing that I think we need to be cognizant of, is it's like a two-man company.
I haven't asked in the last 4 weeks, but about a month ago, the conversation was had with both consultants, and both were ready to do it.
Okay, so Monica just said, for those of you at home, that both consultants were ready to take it on, and I would hope that they would get started as soon as possible. So that doesn't sound like that's a barrier for either consulting firm. Any
This OPS
questions?
proposal is dated June 30th, so.
Maybe we don't have the updated one, so it sounds like they did
It's-
update it.
If you go back to the Munich.
I may have clicked on the wrong one.
It's the OPS.
Updated.
No.
No?
No, that's from December, the other one.
Yeah, June 30th, 2026.
The one above it, right there.
Yeah.
It's the same rate.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know if somebody has an amendment, but maybe taking a straw poll right now, which might be difficult to break a tie with 4 people, but does anyone have strong feelings one way or the other?
For me, it's, I see similar, I mean, I get the comparisons between the two. I lean more towards OPS, of more up the road kind of folks, and it's within budget.
Okay. Ms. Burchard?
Same. I like that it's in budget. We've gone back and forth a lot about how much we're going to pay for this. And I do believe that it is good to try and get it going in conjunction with the master plan.
Yeah. My strong recommendation is KKC. They've been very persistent, I would say, with communication. They're anxious to get going. I think they have a bigger staff. They, I would say this is what they do on a daily basis. OPS, I think, has their hands in other buckets. I think getting it done faster is probably, if that's a consideration, it's more likely on the KKC side, just because they can throw more staff at it. So that's my strong recommendation is the KKC. Do you have any feelings one way or the other?
I am also leaning towards OPS. Both companies are great. I have received public feedback from people in our community that have worked with OPS, so having, both companies have great references, having the local references adds a layer to me. It's within our budget. The other thing about OPS, and I can't find it right now, is that they were going to allow us to put this on whatever platform we chose, whether it was Encode Plus,
Right.
Municode, whatnot. Since we are already paying for the service of Municode and underutilizing it, that's a huge factor as well. So,
Right.
yeah, OPS is my choice.
I would entertain a motion to amend.
Make a motion to amend, to authorize the mayor to negotiate and execute a professional service agreement with OPS to prepare the Town of Alpine's Comprehensive Land Use and Development Code rewrite, subject to final review by town attorney.
Second.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, we're going to be voting on the amendment only. All those in favor of said amendment, say aye.
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 Nay. So that motion carries. Now we're back to the original motion. And we'll just read it one more time. Motion to authorize the mayor to negotiate and execute a professional services agreement with OPS to prepare the Town of Alpine's Comprehensive Land Use and Development Code rewrite, subject to final review by the town attorney. Does that sound right? Any further discussion? All those in favor of said motion, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank goodness. Hard to consult, or we will,
We chose.
we'll go on the journey of negotiating with them. Hopefully that's it. She's happy for sure. Okay, we're going to move into public comment now, and I am going to bring up my clock here. I'm also going to read something before we get started. Public comment is limited to a total of 20 minutes. Each speaker is allowed up to 3 minutes. This is an opportunity to address the council on any topic. The council may listen but may not take action on items raised during this time. Speakers are expected to maintain decorum and be respectful. Written comments may be submitted by noon on the day of the meeting, and all comments are directed to the chairman, which is me, and we won't have discussion between members of the audience. Forgive me, I'm just going to bring this up real quick. Mr. Larson, do you have a clock for 20 minutes?
I do.
Okay. I'll start. Please give us your name.
Hi, my name's Kelvin. Due to the constant outflow of lies and AI slop that Bill posts online, I could speak for hours at this point, but I'll stay focused because I know I only have 3 minutes. First, Bill claims that Mike's inappropriate social media posts that I talked about last week were from years ago, and sure, but only if you consider February of 2026 to be years ago. Bill constantly posts about how my speech should be restricted, claiming it's not related to town business. How can you run for mayor and not consider yourself part of the town's business? Oh, that's right.
You can't, please.
Wyoming law says you cannot campaign for or against somebody in the state of Wyoming during a public comment session.
Bill constantly posts about how my speech should be restricted, claiming it's not part of town's business. How can you run for mayor and not consider yourself part of the town's business? Oh, that's right. It's because he's retarded. My favorite was Bill's long-winded post about the new apartment buildings on Trail Drive.
Please pause. Everyone needs to restrict any comments until you have the microphone. So until that point comes, you need to be quiet. If you're not quiet, if you're...
I can't get up and campaign for myself.
No, it's not.
You can get up and talk. You can get up and talk when you're supposed to.
Shut up.
Okay?
Shut up.
So go.
Shut up.
Go ahead.
It's my time to talk. You can talk when you have 3 minutes. If not, shut up.
2 minutes just
I don't care.
started.
If you think it's illegal, you're not
Mr.
illegal.
Ravi?
You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Recess it.
Mr. Ravi,
Can I get my 3 minutes back?
No, you have a minute.
Reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my time. Mr. Sanderson, reclaiming my
Okay,
time.
hold on. I'm gonna take a recess. Can we just take a break here, and we're gonna get this in order.
Reclaiming my time.
We're now at recess. Can you turn off your microphone?
The camera.
Okay.
Oh, wait, there's my phone stuff.
Need a weed storm too.
because we are now back in session, and what I'm going to do is, we're going to start the clock over. We've gotten, for the first speaker, we've gotten some clarification. The attorney has done some research. I just want to make it plain and clear, Mr. Sanderson, if you don't mind, the question is there a Wyoming state statute?
Is there a statute that specifically prohibits campaigning in town council meetings? Not that I can find.
Yep.
Now, the question does come back. The town can make rules limiting comment to things that are on the public agenda for the night. We have not made those rules yet. Right. So we do not have a rule that can limit that.
Right.
My suggestion is give Mr. Rawe his 3 minutes back, and everybody else just needs to sit and be quiet, allow this man to speak, and then you guys will have your opportunity to have your 3 minutes.
And I'll also point out that if we have any more disruptions, that we will take a recess again, and then we will have a deputy come and remove people that are being disruptive. So no more discussions. Have all your comments directed towards me, not towards anyone else. And don't listen to anyone else. If they start talking, then I'll take care of that. So I'm sorry, but that's the way it has to be until something changes. But this is the way it's going to be. So, Mr. Ravi, you have your 3 minutes started. Back up.
My favorite was Bill's long-winded post about the new apartment buildings on Trail Drive. His post wasn't upset with the density of the housing, which is the obvious real concern when you see apartment buildings like that going up. But Bill instead focused on the building's aesthetic. He took a real picture of the building, plugged it into AI, and made an AI slop photo of a luxury building that would realistically only be found in places like Teton Village or Aspen. And because it's AI slop, it also did a great job editing the trees behind the buildings. Bill's post reads exactly, the difference isn't density, the difference is design. One relies on inexpensive vinyl siding, minimal architectural design, and the other incorporates natural stone, wood accents, earth tone colors, landscaping, and mountain-inspired architectural elements that better reflect the character of Alpine. I wouldn't say any of those things reflect the character of Alpine. In fact, has anyone seen Bill's house? For those of you that haven't, it happens to be made out of inexpensive siding. Bill's house has minimal architectural design. Bill's house has 0 natural stone and 0 wood accents. What kind of retard makes rules for others that they don't even follow themselves? Rules for thee, but not for me. Maybe this retard is ready for a career in politics. Bill is a rhino, and for once I'm not talking about his glaring obesity. I'm talking about his desire to expand government, increase taxes, and restrict freedom. Bill and any other homosexuals that want to micromanage people's design process should move to an HOA where their controlling personality types can really flourish. He can measure the length of people's grass to make sure it isn't too long. He can micromanage how many cars they park in their driveways, and he can gay up the exterior of all the buildings in his community until they meet his faggot standards. Unfortunately, his house will need a rendition first. Don't vote for any of these retards, and don't vote for Troy because he's apparently also retarded. Thank you, and I'll be back next week with more content.
Okay. Do we have any other public comment? Come on up. Did you start over your 20-minute? Okay, thank you. Hi there.
Hi, I'm Mike McElroy. I'm a candidate for County Council. I would like to respond to the council's amendments to the meeting rules of behavior. In my reading, these changes that were...
Excuse me, just 1 minute. Can you point the microphone towards you? Yeah, sorry. If you don't speak right at the microphone. I stopped your clock, but go ahead.
Okay. These rules emphasize the presiding officer's duty to preserve order and added language about the Sergeant of Arms not acting based on topic or viewpoint. They also ask speakers to stay on the agenda and to be respectful. These are positive steps, but they fall short of solving the problem and rely more on speakers being on their best behavior. While I deeply respect the right to free speech, there is a clear line between free expression and rants that veer far from the town agenda into personal attacks, foul language, disparagement, and defamation of individuals. The town council is not the appropriate forum to air personal vendettas or settle private disputes. Allowing such conduct to continue unchecked, including explicit, obscene language, and the display of vile or slanderous gestures or materials in front of the live video feed, undermines the dignity of the meetings and discourages residents from participating or even attending the meetings. In my experience, failing to enforce consequences for repeat violators of decorum only encourages more of the same behavior. People should know the rules, and they must be real consequences, warnings, removal from the podium, censure when those rules are violated, especially when the same complaints and personal attacks are repeated meeting after meeting. It appears the council has been reluctant to confront the issue directly, possibly to capitulate to an individual, and in the words of our town attorney, to avoid litigation the town cannot afford. However, this approach comes at the expense of good governance and the rights of all residents to orderly, productive meetings. The Sergeant at Arms and town attorney should be actively supporting enforcement of the rules rather than allowing disruptions that harm the town's reputation and the public trust. The video feed should be turned off immediately anytime the meeting is placed in recess. Our focus must be on the good governance of the town of Alpine, not on tolerating behavior that would be unacceptable in any other public setting. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Okay. Oops. Next, do we have any other public comment? Okay.
Bill Sachs, Alpine resident. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, as of today, I've done fresh research into the town's public comment and meeting rules, using the town's website and all publicly available documents to make sure nothing had changed before tonight. The governing rules are still the 2008 rules adopted by resolution number 0115082008. Those rules limit public comment to business of the town of Alpine before this council. I can find no properly adopted signed ordinance or resolution that has changed that. The resolution section of the website has a broken link between resolution 503 and 514. That matters because resolution 514 from 2023 was an earlier attempt to revise the public comment rules, and by town's attorney own account on July 7th, it was never adopted because it contained content-based restrictions. Residents are trying to find out what rules currently govern this podium. Hit a dead link pointing to a resolution that doesn't exist. Given that the 2023 date, is it fair to ask whether this gap has existed for as long as 3 years, meaning that residents have had no reliable way to confirm the current rules? So tonight, I'm asking directly if some other document that has ever authorized comments unrelated to town business exists, produce it, and produce it tonight.
Thank you. You done?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Still have a minute.
So show us the resolution, the vote. If it doesn't exist, the 2008 rules stand as written, and they should be enforced as written. I've reviewed the proposed red line dated June 29th. To be fair, most of it clarifies that content and viewpoint restrictions are not authorized. That's a good change, but the new rule 2-6F asks speakers to remain on the agenda topic, while the 2008 rules speak more broadly to the town business. Those are two different standards. I'd ask the council to clarify tonight which one of these governs before anything is adopted. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yeah. Come on up. Oh, do you mind hitting that button? Thank you. And tell us your name for the record.
Yeah, my name is Jersey Mozinski. I've been an old-time resident around here for a long time. Excuse me. I'd like to get on the tried and true subject of the Turley thing. Am I free to speak about that?
Any topic.
Okay, so I've been out for a while, looked at all the emails and notifications coming in, and I noticed that this whole Turley thing is really starting to burgeoning. First, there was 8 units up there. Now it's 56. So we live in the area where these roads will be converging. So if you do the multiplication table of 3 or 4 cars per household, now all of a sudden we have a traffic jam going up Sunrise and Grandview, and that's going to be a nightmare. I think that something needs to be done about that. We, meaning the town, the people, need to put a limit on this thing. He came up here to live a quiet life, a peaceful life, to have some seclusion, to have some looking around and having some nature around us, and now all of a sudden we're being inundated and bombarded with population and people coming in from all over the place, and people like, I don't mean to sully Mr. Turley, but now he's adding 56 more units that's going to go past everybody's house that's up there. It's going to be a traffic nightmare. And I've been here for a long time, and I've seen this thing grow, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. Now there's the subject of the roundabout and the safety and the security. There was comments right at the very beginning of a development annexation where is it going to be safe? Is it going to be prosperous? Is it going to be whatever? That's going to be a disaster. And I would ask that there's got to be a limit somewhere. And I think there's a lot of people here or all over the town that'll agree that this is going to be an absolute nightmare. And it might be a great deal for the town, meaning on taxes, meaning on revenue, meaning on whatever else. But in the meantime, we're going to have a disaster up there. Cars, noise, and if you do the math, 3 cars times 56 per house, 3 cars per household.
10 seconds.
Yeah, 56 houses, you can do the arithmetic to yourself. And it's going to be going up Grandview every day, twice a day. Thank you.
Thank you. Perfect 3 minutes. Anyone else? How are we doing on our 20-minute timer?
8 minutes and 35 seconds.
Okay, 8 minutes and 25. Go for it.
I'll
Tell us
try and
your
keep
name.
it short and sweet.
Yes.
My name's Dee Talcott, and I just had a couple of quick questions with the Turley annexation in regards to whether or not he will be guaranteeing a bond which will protect the given residents in the area that will be affected by his project, and further, will he be held accountable to maintain a good neighborly conduct when he is Airbnb-ing and leaving trash all over when we have known bears in our neighborhood? It's a little concerning because we have people coming and going, most of which are not bear aware, and they are feeding literally the problem, and all of a sudden we're coming home with notifications that there's bears everywhere because Airbnb guests are leaving bags of trash outside of their cans and on the street, in addition to a number of different other concerns that this project is bringing up. Mr. Turley has decided that he would drop many of the neighbors in the affected neighborhood, and it's really concerning because it makes us question the integrity of his character, because we had to fork out money to be able to defend access to our properties, and then all of a sudden he dropped it, and now we are out several $1,000s as a group of people that there's no recourse. So that's what my concern is. I'd like that to be addressed in next week's meeting, and we will be present for that. Thank you.
I will respond to just a couple things. When you have questions about the bond or whatever, send that to, as an email to either the administrator or the clerk, and we'll try to respond with the specifics on that. And then regarding the trash, we have ordinances in the town that restrict people just having trash out there. I would recommend, if you're being neighborly or whatever, to reach out to Mr. Turley. If you don't have his information, I don't know how you do it, but say, this is what's happening on your property. And if that doesn't happen, then we have a code enforcement officer, and then you should call and make a complaint, and then it'll go through that process. That's probably the best way. But I hear exactly what you're saying, especially with the bear in that area, so.
With respect, Mr. Mayor, I would tell you that I am not comfortable speaking with Mr. Turley because he is very condescending and disrespectful to myself as well as other neighbors. So to be able to bring that issue to his attention, I feel would be inappropriate because I would be put at risk of his verbal abuse. But the document stands that we have pictures of all of that.
Okay, appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
Do we have anyone else? Oops.
I'll just quickly respond to that. I'll take a few minutes. Justin Scott, town Alpine resident. I believe there's an enforcement officer that you guys employ, so maybe that would be something that they could enforce those rules of trash being left out on properties. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have something to say, sir? Okay, thumbs up. All right.
They are an enforcement officer.
Hello, my name is Isaac. I'm a candidate for mayor. I appreciate the work that council and staff has put together in tonight's agenda, particularly the effort to address conflicts, updates, and development codes and move forward with a complete rewrite. The town begins that rewrite. As the town begins the rewrite, I ask the council to make sure the process is transparent and accessible. Looks like you guys have been doing pretty good so far. And that the application candidates and staff please publish final consultants agreements before work begins, including the complete scope, deliverable schedule, included in public meetings, hourly rates, and ownership of all editable files. I'll want to note that the stand not to exceed amount and the personal service documents do not appear to be a true all-inclusive spending cap. The agreement allows categories such as additional services, reimbursable expenses, printing later phases, rephases, or delays to fall outside the base limits. Any final agreement should state an all-inclusive maximum and require the town council to approve in public before that maximum can be increased. During the code rewrite, please publish each draft in a searchable format, provided a clear comprehensible against existing code, and maintain a public comment matrix showing each subsection concerned and how it was addressed. I also ask that written public comments be acknowledged. I see that they have, and considered during as much as the microphone time. Thank you.
Thanks, Isaac. Any other public comments? None? Appreciate everyone coming. We're going to go into executive session. I will point out, and Isaac just did, you can send in public comment, and as long as we receive it by noon, we will post it on the agenda, and then it will be accessible to everyone, that would like to see the public comment. So you don't have to come here and speak in person. We do accept the written public comment. So we're definitely here to listen to your comments and appreciate everyone coming tonight. So I would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Would you like to recess first?
Not necessarily. Go for it. We don't have to.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of going into executive session, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you, everybody.
So far, so good.